Many ships have won the war or lost the war in different countries. But one of the ships at the war was a hospital ship. Nurses and doctors are helping the war to take patients to the destination in the hospitals because of a ship. One hospital ship we ever know. The legendary sinking of a hospital ship has her own name, named after the wreck of a Titanic sister herself, HMS Britannic. HMS Britannic was Titanic sisters, one of the Olympic Titanic. HMS Britannic believed she was a white starliner nicknamed the HMS Britannic. When the Second World War II arrived for a nightmare disaster, HMS Britannic was painted all white and nursing, known as the hospital ship, called nickname HMS Britannic. She protects passengers for dangerous vessels, just like the enemies against British and Germans at seas. Make sure no submarine will hunt her down. In the aftermath of Titanic's sinking, HMS Britannic's turn have won the war. Take doctors, nurses, soldiers, and the passengers get their destination before the German sub will find them when Germany versus the British. The German sub found Britannic. They decide to fire torpedo and sunk her, make way for the Germans. Then suddenly, before they go to shoot her, they realize their sub was in danger. The British spy ship saw the sub. The sub tried to hide, but it's too late for the sub. The ship with the bombs were dumped in the sea. When the bombs touched the German sub, the explosion on the sub began to sink. HMS Britannic's horn and the people on the ship gave cheering victory of a Navy ship protects Britannic for German subs. HMS Britannic arrived her destination when passengers, nurses, and doctors gave tourists in the place. After they finished destination, they went back in the ship and sailed to Southampton, an island, before the war was over. Sailing on. When the sun began to rise, fortunately, that's not the point. HMS Britannic returned to Southampton, an island. The reason she didn't return, well, here's the aftermath what happened to HMS Britannic. When she sailed towards Southampton, an island, quicker before the war is over, she hit the German submarine at the water. She collided, caused the explosion. The passengers, nurses, doctors, and the soldiers were panicking. The crew heard the boom till Britannic's bow began sinking with her side, sank, and water, almost plunging down. The crew gave lifeboats for HMS Britannic tried to escape the ship before she was sunk. Many passengers, soldiers, nurses, and doctors managed to escape the ship, and crew and captain. Sadly, HMS Britannic's propellers refuse to pause. They keep running till one of the victims of the lifeboats collide HMS Britannic's propellers and destroy them, killing with it. Many people watch from the lifeboats. They watch the tragedy, the ship keep sinking and sailing till the propellers became to a halt and stopped at last. When the ship was sinking too much, they saw it. She was capsized, tip over. Almost, she was capsized, sinking off her side, just like the ship who sunk in World War I before, till she plunged into a sea, touching the ocean floor. HMS Britannic have sunk. Many people were heartbroken after their ship had sunk. There was nothing they could do head back Southampton, till many ships who saw HMS Britannic have sunk, one of the destinations on the lands. They saw HMS Britannic have sunk. They saw everything. They helped out the lifeboats. Many people were rescued by ships after HMS Britannic sunk. Of the tragedy. In the after, the war is over. HMS Britannic have sunk. She never reached Southampton and Ireland again. Many ships of the war of happens have lost. When the war is over, the Germans have lost the war. When Ireland and the UK and America have won the war. World War II was the worst histories of the sinking vessels who did this to Titanic's sisters in the aftermath. When the World War II and another war didn't return, in the aftermath in the White Star liners, the RMS in Lupik knows her sisters have sunk. Titanic, HMS Britannic. Fortunately, she was cut up and scrapped. In the aftermath, the ships were forgotten. Many divers, ships, vessels have found the wreck of HMS Britannic lay her side. Many subs and divers check, look at of a lost hostile ship. Many lives have sunk in the ship who sunk hit the German mine. Till it was alone, HMS Britannic have returned, the RMS Titanic have sunk histories once again. We know HMS Britannic was the lost ship of Titanic's sisters ships, just like the RMS Lupik, HMS Britannic, and Titanic herself. Many ships knew World War II, many the war's history was the worst nightmares ever. Till we learn about HMS Britannic and Titanic's sisters. HMS Britannic was still the hostile ship. Her legacy touched unite with Titanic and Lupic will never forgotten from the war. Many knows about the legend of HMS Britannic and Titanic sisters. Many ships of a White Star Liner's legacies will live on, just like the legend of Titanic sisters will unite and live on forever. And that's the history, the war of a hospitable ship known as the HMS Britannic. So that's the ship war of the seas.